invite Shri Anoop Moopen, Director at Aster DM Healthcare, to the stage for leading the next session of the day. And he will be dealing with the topic, The Future Belongs to Innovators, Insights for Global Success. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great honor to be here addressing all of you, a gathering of vibrant entrepreneurs, visionaries, and change makers. Thank you, Manorama. First of all, thank you, Manorama, for giving me this opportunity. So before I get into what I'm asked to do, let me give you a brief context about myself. My name is Anoop Moopen. I am a civil engineer by profession, and I run contracting and construction companies in UAE, Saudi, and Oman. But I'm not going to talk about construction here. So I've been asked to talk about global innovation and global opportunities. So what I'm going to do here is take you through a brief journey of Aster DM Healthcare, the growth of Aster from a single doctor clinic to a multi-billion-dollar healthcare company. So the growth, it all started in 1987 when Dr. Moopen, he started his first clinic in UAE. Thereafter, expanded to more clinics, pharmacies, laboratories, and hospitals. Now, as we stand, Aster DM Healthcare has grown to one of the largest healthcare providers in GCC and India, with 34 hospitals, 133 clinics, 519 pharmacies, and 232 laboratories. So I'm talking about Aster DM Healthcare of GCC and India put together, but now Aster India and Aster GCC are two different entities due to various reasons. That's a different topic which I'll have a lot of time to cover that. I'll be focusing more on the India piece. Now, we have around 35,000 employees put together, and out of which 5,000 plus are doctors. Talking about Dr. Moopen, his business interest or his entrepreneurship did not start in 1987. It started way before that when he was in his school days. We all belong to a village called Kalpaganjeri, which I'm not sure if anyone knows about it, or most of you might not have even heard about it. But his schooling was in Calicut. He was going to St. Joseph's School, where he was in boarding. So at that time, probably he was in 7th or 8th standard, he used to carry medicines from Calicut to Kalpaganjeri, our village, where there was no pharmacy. And he used to sell it. There was no pharmacy, there was a need for people to access care or medicines. So there was a purpose in what he was trying to do. And at the same time, he made a profit out of it. Maybe it gave him some pocket money. But what I'm trying to say here is, anything you do for entrepreneurs, there has to be a purpose. Dr. Moopen always believed in healthcare space or in the healthcare area, the profit should always be a byproduct, not the main aim. So those who can find a purpose, give a meaning to it, and the purpose, if it's a noble cause, you all, the entrepreneurs sitting here, you all will go a long way. Now, let me take you through the Aster journey after that. As I said, I'll be covering more of the India story. Now, the first major decision, or the major challenging decision he took, was starting of Aster MIMS in Calicut. At the time, it's in the 2000, I think year 1998 to 2000. At that time, it was a heavy investment for him. He was planning to come up with a state-of-the-art facility with the modern infrastructure in Malabar. The plan was to start a 350-bed hospital. Now it is 750 beds, but at that time it was a heavy investment, and he was not able to pull it up together. So what he did was, he got the support of many like-minded investors who believed in his vision. What I'm trying to say here is, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait if you don't have the resources, if you don't have the money. Get the right partners. The right partnership will take you forward. Now, by God's grace, MIMS is in the Malabar area, is one of the most trusted names, and it was a success story. The second major decision he took in his life is about starting Aster Medcity. So, this is in 2014. At the time, there was a lot of resistance or objection or negativity about the project, whether starting such a project in Cochin is viable. The investors were not very happy. And his vision was to create something of global importance, or the state-of-the-art facility. The whole idea was to bring in talent. By talent, I mean doctors. Many of the doctors who have flown from here to US, UK to pursue their career, he wanted to bring them back. He wanted to establish a place which is worth for them to come back and in fact render this service back to the people of Kerala. In fact, that worked, that clicked. It even, his confidence was much more when that project clicked. And now by far we stand tall, being one of the best healthcare facilities in Kerala. So these are all greenfield projects. Now, with his confidence and with his vision, let me come back on the vision again. So the vision for Dr. Moopen was very clear. It was, and it is, to touch and heal as many lives as possible. How do you do that? You have to scale up. To touch more lives, you have to be bigger, stronger. So now, after the greenfield expansion, then he looked at brownfield expansions. Like the Kerala story. Now, with the success of Aster MIMS, we were, the MIMS branched out to Kottakkal, Kannur, Arikod, and other areas. Now, we had got a strong presence around Kerala. Now, he was looking at Karnataka. Again, the same thing. Now, it's a decision which he had to take, again, there was a lot of resistance saying, no, Bangalore is a market, it's for the big shots. You are going to compete with Apollo or Fortis. You are placed well in Kerala. Now, why do you want to do that? Take the risk. So we started with a brownfield project. Brownfield, again, it's much quicker than greenfield. You get a facility, you build on it. Maybe it's a shell and core or a building where you do the interiors, you turn around it to a hospital. So it's much quicker. So the Aster CMI project in Bangalore was again a great success story, which again, after that, we had two more other brownfield opportunities. We started Aster RV and Aster Whitefield. So if you look at all these three hospitals, all are doing pretty well, and we have got quite a good market share in Bangalore. So now we looked at greenfield expansion and brownfield expansion. Now what next? Doctor started thinking about that. Now, to touch more lives, he has to add more beds, add more doctors, or grow. So now he started looking at acquisitions. Now, with acquisition model, now taking or retaining majority stake or buying out, we ventured into Hyderabad, Telangana, and even Kolhapur. So, as I speak, we are at almost 5,000 beds, and our CAGR growth in revenue in the past 5 years has been at revenue growth of 23% and EBITDA growth of 38%, which is remarkable, and we are known as one of the fastest healthcare growing in the Indian healthcare space. So now in 2018, we went for the IPO. IPO is a whole different story. We went for IPO with the GCC business together. Before I come to IPO, I want to throw some light on our branding exercise, which would be of interest to the entrepreneurs here. So, Aster was called as Dr. Moopen's Healthcare initially. So when we decided to go global, there was a lot of deliberations about it, saying that the name of a person as a global brand does not sound good. You should have a neutral name. So we had a lot of exercise around that, and finally, even the family was very attached to that name. We didn't want to give away that name and call it a Aster. So finally, it was Dr. Moopen who decided, this is what, if the company requires a neutral name to go global, so be it. So what I'm trying to say here is you should not be attached to a name, emotionally attached. You should do what is necessary for the company to grow and develop in the long run. So he took a firm decision. He was not attached to his name. He wanted the company to be there as number one. Now, talking about IPO. Now, together, I don't know how much time I have, but I'll try to run it quickly. When we went for IPO, the GCC and the India business was put together and launched in India. But what happened eventually is the Indian market started looking at Aster as a GCC company because 70% of the business was from GCC. So we didn't realize the value which we anticipated. The Indian market did not give that. So it took almost 5 years us to correct that. We had to separate the GCC business. We had to sell the GCC business from the India company and make it two different entities. But let me clarify, the promoter family stays on both sides of the business. So this deal, again, being a listed company, selling a major part of the business from this company, and the promoter family being both part of the buyer and the seller, it's a very complicated situation. And it was a very tough exercise, but eventually we managed to do it. And trust me, it is now Harvard Business School is looking at it as a case study. Now what happened is, now as a listed company, we were listed at around 9,000 crores. We didn't realize the value which we anticipated. Now, from that, we sold the GCC business for around approximately $1 billion, which is around 8,000 crores approximately. So from a 9,000, 10,000 crore company, 8,000 crores of GCC business is sold. And after that, what happened is the India company or the India stock market recognized Aster as a fully Indian company, and then it realized its true value. So now, as a standalone business, Aster is valued at 26,000 crores. So you can imagine what happened here. When the India market realized it as an India company, the true value was realized. So here, something like this happened. Like what if I would say 3 minus 2 is equal to 5. It multiplied beyond our imagination. The true value was realized. So this is an interesting story, I thought, at least for some of the entrepreneurs who might want to go public. There's a lot of learning in this space. And I see from Kerala side, still there are very few companies who have gone public. This is something which the entrepreneurs should pursue. You should align your company with an intention to go public at some point of time, because that is when you realize the true value. Otherwise, you don't know what is the value of your company. Here we have a very regulated market under the control of SEBI, and that is when you realize the true potential and the value of your company. So I would encourage, if you look at North or Bombay or Gujarat or other sides, many companies, if you look at the percentage of entrepreneurs going for IPO from Kerala, it's very less. I can see the trend happening now, but this is something you entrepreneurs should keep in mind. And it brings a lot of governance. The path to IPO You will have independent directors on the board who will protect the interest of the public as well. It is not like you can do what you want with your money and with your company. So there will be a lot of governance involved, and it will protect your company in the long run. So if you see many family-run business fail after the main key person is out of the picture. But if you are a listed company, you will have proper systems, governance in place, you will have proper professionals to run the company. So as you grow bigger, this is something which you should keep in mind. I don't have much of time, but before I conclude, I'll just touch upon one more thing, which is a major breakthrough which happened now. So we looked at greenfield expansions like MIMS and Medcity. We looked at brownfield expansion, which like in Bangalore, where I told about, we take hospitals and refurbish and make it and make the turnaround faster. Then we looked at acquisitions, which I mentioned. Now Dr. Moopen started thinking, oh, what next? How do I touch more lives? How do I take this to the next level? Now we have got the opportunity of a merger. That is the fourth thing to happen for the faster growth. So we have this merger definitive agreement for merger signed with Blackstone, who owns majority stake in CARE and KIMS hospitals. CARE hospital, they have hospitals in Hyderabad, Orissa, Bhubaneswar, Aurangabad, and even in Tamil Nadu, Kerala also. The KIMS also comes under that. So this merger is going to take Aster to the next level. Now we are at 5,000 beds now. This is going to take us to 10,000 plus beds. So what is happening here, if you try to analyze this, it took 38 years for us to reach 5,000 beds. And in 1 year's time, we are going to 10,000 beds time. So this is the power of merger. So on the right time, you have to look at opportunities of, when it is the time, you look at greenfield projects, brownfield projects, or acquisitions, or mergers. There are a lot of opportunities in this market to grow. So with this scale, we'll be like maybe the top 3 players in India with this bed strength. And this scale comes with a lot of advantage. Let me tell you, the scale, as of now, even before the merger, the scale of growth from 350 beds to 5,000 bed we have got a lot of advantage. For example, I can give you what is procurement benefit. We were able to bring a procurement benefit of around 4 to 5%. By 4 to 5%, I don't mean the percentage of the procurement part. 4 to 5% of the turnover. So if you are a 5,000 crore turnover company, you are saving around 250 crores just on the procurement optimization. So I'm just trying to give you an example of the power of scale. So I hope, I was just trying, with the limited time, I was just trying to give you some insights through our story. These are some of the potential areas which you can imbibe or consider in your path of success. Before I conclude, let me touch upon one more thing which is very important for the budding and the established entrepreneurs, which is giving back to the society. You are in a very established position, or you are in a position of power where you can make a change. So please divert your potential, your influences, your platform to give back to the society. Dr. Moopen here, he have pledged 20% of his wealth to the poor and needy. And the trust is under formation, where he is making sure that even after his lifetime, this continues and it will go on. And the medical college which he is built in Wayanad, again, is a noble cause where there is dearth of healthcare service, and the entire project is a charity project for him. So I would encourage all of you to take this up as a part of your journey. Now, finally, remember, success belongs to those who dare. Dare to take risks and dare to make a change, you will succeed. And thank you everyone for the time.
Thank you so much for such an insightful session, Shri Anoop Moopen. Now it's time to present the memento. I invite Srimati Rajashri, Editor-in-Charge Manorama Sampadyam, to kindly come to the stage and present the memento to Shri Anoop Moopen. Thank you, Shri Anoop Moopen, once again for